something like your dreams before. Our roots entwine, but we cannot linger here long. We must know. A killer freed, a predator returned to the woods. You bled and forgave. Why? Should he not suffer for your pain? Compassion for the snake. He killed our beloved. Our weeds tangled. This is not our way. A dam broke. We wept in the dark when your soul slipped away. We feared for you, felt your agony. We could not forgive. Petals disperse on the wind. Wake now. We have tending to do.
Look, Marius, if you ever want to talk about anything, you know I'm here, right?
Right. Appreciate that, but I'm alright. It's not every day you get to deal with the person who killed you. And since you set them free, you get to deal with them again sometime in the future. What part? The part where you set free an assassin who succeeded at killing you once already? Right, must be that part. Anyway, it doesn't matter what I think. You found the assassin, and you're still alive, which means well done, Marius. Now you're looking towards Emerald Stair. Whole other kind of deadly out there. I mean, if you think you've seen forests, think again. Emerald Stair is where nature goes to try out some new stuff. The trees there are fertilized by the corpses of people who thought they knew what they were getting into when they got there. But past that is the strange stuff. Ruins, spirits, and other things that you should steer clear of. Considered it, sure. I wouldn't be much of a guide if I dropped you off at the edge of Dawnshore and said, good luck. Good to be here. We've got a bit of a walk ahead of us. You might want to get some rest. Anyway. Not before I've done some reading.
Not everyone warrants an assassination attempt, you know. You should be flattered. What I find interesting is how you handled him. You really had him at a loss when you let him go. Me too, for that matter. Don't get me wrong, I'm impressed. Not many in your position would have let him walk away. I think the Living Lands has a way of wringing the tenderness out of those who survive it. Even though most of us come here looking for a second chance, it's rare that we offer one. Why'd you do it? Fair enough. I'm afraid we haven't seen the last of this conflict, though. Eagwolf isn't the only hothead in the Living Lands, and he's certainly not the only one with his hackles up about all you Adira newcomers. And Ludwig and the Steel Garrote are only making matters worse. You're far from the only one to say so. Your ambassador and the rest of the Adiran forces have been dragging the frontier, kicking and screaming towards order and civilization. All the things that half of us moved here to escape. Then, one day, Ludwig and the Steel Garrote show up to reinforce the Adiran presence, and they're as harsh as Wodaka herself. Could be both. Judging from that meeting, Ambassador Hilgard and Ludwig don't see eye to eye. I'm afraid that means trouble on the horizon, especially if Ludwig starts operating around him. Nice to know I'm in good company. Just thinking about Claviger Amon. I let him down. I've let a few people down over the years. But I did promise someone once that I'd do my part to look after all of us riffraff who've made a home here. My best chance of doing that is helping you investigate this plague and keep a lid on tensions. And, hopefully, fend off any future assassination attempts. You don't miss much, do you? That's a story for another time. I've had all the doom and gloom I can stand for one night. By the way, now that we've gotten to know each other, let me know if you want to train together. I've been watching your form, and I think we could learn from one another. I'll be here if you need me.
Give me a second.
Who's ready for more?
Beyond sync!
Hey! Over here! Looking? back in the fight.
What's the target?
Next one's mine. That's all of it.
Oh, no, you don't!
They're off! Beyond sync!
Get the shot.
Stillness me too!
Star medal, if I'm not mistaken. Might want to take that to a officer.
Envoy. On the contrary, Paradis believes it can help you.
Careful, he could be a messenger. Or this could get interesting.
After what you've done, you cannot imagine we would ignore you. Your mercy for our compatriots has not gone unnoticed. Take this. We deem you worthy. This time, we trust you will remember our gratitude.
Hold a moment. They tell me you're going to Emerald Stair. Business or pleasure? Well, just remember to cover your mouth, sneeze into your elbow, and sleep with lavender under your pillow. Fair warning, Envoy. Before you showed up, Inquisitor Ludwine barged past me. She was looking none too pleased. Don't thank me. In fact, keep my name away from Ludwine's ears. Better if she doesn't know I exist. Anyway, I thought you should know Ludwine's on the prowl. Tread lightly.
So Ludwine's somewhere out there doing who knows what. Wonderful.
Given how angry she was about Eagwolf, probably best we give her a wide berth.
You're cleared to pass, Envoy.
Can't say I'm sad to be leaving Paradis. I had no idea how tense things were with the Adirans moving in. And now we have to worry about whether the man who killed you is going to try again.
It's what most of us come here for. I only wish more of us really got one. Unfortunately, the Steel Garrote will see this as an excuse to crack down. I get the feeling they've been looking for one.
Steel Garrote? I figured they're just more intense Adiran soldiers.
They're certainly making their presence known. Can't say they're making any friends, though.
I don't like that Ludwine woman. She gives me the vrikas.
Yeah, I've seen floggings gentler than the scolding she gave Hilgard. One's tacking when the other's jibing, if you catch my drift. Taking in the slack is one thing. They look ready to strangle each other with it.
Then it's a good thing we're getting out of the city.
Yeah. Much as Liviana misses our company, I wouldn't count on your mysterious friend reviving you a second time.
Are you listening to that friend when you go all blank-eyed from time to time? Does your special friend talk to you? I mean, I had an imaginary friend when I was little, but they never brought me back from the dead.
He means that with all due professional respect, of course.
How do you know this friend doesn't mean us any harm? Unless they have their own use for you. That's what's giving me the shakes.
We're headed to Fior Messi Verno to see if the animancers know anything about the Dream Scourge, right? Maybe we'll learn something about your condition in the process.
Right. When it comes time to deal with animancers, you two are on your own.
Most fun things are.
They could stand around and have scholarly debates about souls all they want. Gives me a great opportunity to take a nap.
I haven't been back in a while, but Fior is, an interesting place. It was founded about 50 years ago by a disgraced Valian duke and a handful of animancers who'd soured on politics in the republics.
Town full of nobles, scholars, and leeches. All surviving off the work of the farmers who grow food for the whole island. Right. You know, present company excluded, and all that.
Don't take it personally. Marius only does this with people he likes.
I'd say something back at you, but I'm just not feeling it for some reason.
See what I mean? It turns out that academics are as ungovernable as the rest of us rabble.
You don't understand what they're messing with. They can't tame the wilds with machinery.
They've held it at bay until recently. Their ingenuity, or madness, or heresy, take your pick, has fed a lot of people in the living lands. But, rumor has it, some unnatural blight is destroying their crops. We'll find out soon enough. And while we're in Emerald Stair, there's something I've been putting off. An old friend from my time in Thirdborn had a cabin out in the woods. Tama. He passed a while ago, but he left something for me that I never got around to picking up. But since we'll be in Emerald Stair anyway... You won't regret it. Emerald Stair's lovely this time of year. Even the Delimgon bloom.
No matter what I tell you, you keep picking flowers from things that want to kill you.
Hey, they love me. You just gotta ask nicely. Compliment their foliage.
Right. Maybe buy them a drink before they choke you to death with vines. Well, you came to the right place.
You and I have quite the adventure ahead of us, Envoy.
I have 2 rules. No campfire songs and no hugs. That last one's non-negotiable.
I hear wiggle room on the singing.
If we're done being ridiculous, we should get some rest. We'll be in Emerald Stair tomorrow.
Good to have you with us, Marius.
Right. Go to bed before you violate the hugging rule.
Would you be a dear and help with these soldiers, please?
Looks like she could use our help. Let's get her in.
You're mine now! Watch this! Beat that, Marius!
They're off! All of them! Seal nas método!
Don't get too comfortable.
Watch your back!
Oh, fantastic. People. I was about to lose my wits.
A mind's question. The dust of the Akita in her hair. She knocks. We would answer.
You wouldn't happen to have a ladder on hand, would you? Barrett's balls. Just my luck. I really need that vase, and a ladder is required.
I'd always heard Barris bells, but I like your version better.
But perhaps we don't need one. You're tall, striking, and well-toned. Oh, of course. Why would a priceless artifact be important? Well, I'm not surprised you don't know of the Godless. But they were here in the Living Lands long before we were. Long before anyone else, as far as I can tell. Give or take a few thousand years. They lived on every corner of the lands. You must have passed a few of their ruins on the way here. The big ones, with spires that look more than a little phallic. A lot of their structures were embedded in the ground. They lived in harmony with the land. I mean, as much as you can live in harmony with the land actively trying to kill you. Maybe it was nicer back then. 30 years of research, and as far as I can tell, they just upped and disappeared one day. Fascinating, right? Well, what's important is that the vase is within my grasp, now that I've a tall, dark, and beautiful stranger to help. There's a vase in this ruin that's too high for me to reach. Fetch it for me. I can pay you in skates if you do. The vase sits atop that tower beside us, in the ruins there. And once you've got it, look me up. Yatzli, wizard extraordinaire, godless expert, and a Balrog in the bedroom.
You do meet the most interesting people.
I can get you 1,000 faces that don't require going into some ancient ruins. No one listens to me. Quiet, Nimdu.
Nice job! Hey! Over here! I have the shot!
Beyond zinc!
I was just getting warmed up.
Andra's titties, you found it! I tried using magic to get the vase down, but alas. Thankfully you and your little friends came along and saved the day.
Excuse me. We're all bigger than you are, Nimdude.
I may be small, but my magic is not, I assure you. Oh, holding my vase hostage. I respect that. First and foremost, Fior Mesiverno is an animancer sanctuary. Vidaro, unlike his father, the former governor, is not an animancer. Not an uncommon sentiment, of course. Emerald Stair used to be the breadbasket of the living lands. Now it won't bear fruit, and there are rumors of plague. Pleasant, isn't it? But I'd best pack up. I want to get home. I have a new artifact to study. Thank you for your help, Godlike. Even if you didn't have a ladder.
Well, that's something I hope never happens again.
I've got a few inches to spare if she changes her mind.
What the... Of course I forgot a ladder. What? Darn it. You are aware I can see you digging through my things, aren't you?
Nice work. Never seen Emerald Stair like this. It's usually so nice.
As if people weren't hungry enough.
Saved our crops, and now look, spoiled on the vine. Zalit won't even touch them.
What do you mean that's all you've got? Last week you said there would be grain.
I know what I said.
Hey, you! Go away! There's nothing here.
You showed up at a bad time.
Ah, the Emperor's envoy. Inquisitor Ludwig said you might be heading this way. As am I, in a way. Forgive me. I'm Captain Alfir, captain in the Steel Garrote. If you're here to speak with Vidaro, I'm afraid you'll find the governor is quite beyond reason. These Valians and their love of animancy. While they theorize and do nothing, the sickness spreads. But worry not, envoy. The Steel Garrote will be ready to ensure the safety of Adirian interests when the time comes. We all have our part to play, envoy. Until later.
She's as subtle as a broadside.
Does subtle mean something different outside of Zulus?
Can I interest you in... Welcome to... Someone, come on. My invention is guaranteed.
What's the meaning of this?
Look at it. How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dream Scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike? In that case, you're right on time.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Tempers are high, but I don't see any assassins. Yet.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion. Ah, of course. The Adiran envoy. Ambassador Hilgard sent a missive telling me to expect you. How delightful. You speak with a measure of authority, but I caution you to remember who's in charge around here.
Now that's what I call a first impression. As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dream Scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now, our farms. Then there's no time to waste arguing with bureaucrats.
We definitely agree on that.
I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the Dream Scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust animancy as his father did. Before we can deal with the Dream Scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Must be nice that all the arguing isn't about you, for once.
I'm just trying to stop Chiata from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark. I see you're unfamiliar with animancy. Be careful with your assumptions. Are you going to tell her about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident, but look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dream Scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart. Really? Unexpected from an Adiran. But how could I refuse an offer like that? Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Chiata.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Chiata Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Mesiverno.
Whoa, you're banishing her for that?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Chiata is an outcast. Perhaps, but I can't just let her continue to poison the minds of my animancers.
They aren't your animancers. Your father understood that.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Mesiverno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west, by the workshop.
Another mouth to feed. Maybe we'll need to let Kai hunt more after all.